Welcome inside our New York studios for this post-game reaction. Brent Stover alongside the 7th all-time leading rusher in Ohio State history, Beanie Wells. You went for 200 at the Big House once upon a time. That's where the positivity ends on this day, unfortunately. Michigan beats Ohio State today to kick off the day 13-10 in this phenomenal rivalry. It's 4 straight for the Wolverines over the Buckeyes. What's your initial reaction, Beanie?
Just straight up embarrassing. I'm taking off my analyst hat here, and, I'm showing my Buckeye pride. I don't think anybody loves being a Buckeye more than myself. Obviously, growing up there, understanding what it means to play in this football game. And when you go out and you play in this fashion and you lose how you did, being out-physical, being out-coached, and just not matching up to the intensity and the magnitude of the moment, it's straight up embarrassing. And I can't believe the fashion in which it took place today.
And you did it against a quarterback that was 9 of 16, 62 yards, 2 interceptions. They had red zone issues. Both teams really had problems inside the opponent's 20-yard line. What was the biggest reason, in your mind, why the Buckeyes lost this?
Ohio State wasn't as physical. They were not a physical football team. I think on the defensive side, they did pretty good. They made stops when they needed to. But there's always been indicators in this football game. You have to win the rushing battle. You have to win the turnover margin. You have to win the special teams matchup. And we didn't do either of those. And then when it comes down to a mano-a-mano, stepping up, making plays when it matters, you didn't get it done. And then when you talk about from a coaching standpoint, you have a $20 million roster. That's something everybody talked about all offseason. You go out and you get Chip Kelly and all for this moment. This is the reason why you coach at Ohio State. This is the reason why players go to Ohio State, to win these games, to play in these games, and not to come up short 4 years in a row. The thought keeps going through my mind a couple of years ago when Jim Harbaugh said, people stand on third base and act like they've done something and they get home so quickly. Well, right now, he was talking about at that moment Ryan Day. And right now, that's coming to be true. When Ryan Day last won, that was his first matchup, and that was straight off of an Urban Meyer football team, a great tenure there beating Michigan, and he won his first matchup versus Michigan as the head football coach. And since then, it's just been loss after loss after loss. And I just don't know, as a Buckeye fan, as a faithful, how do you rebound from something like this?
You were 3-0 against Michigan in your time. Ryan Day, obviously. I mentioned they've lost 4 in a row. You alluded to the fact that he got out-coached on this day. His record is sensational. Make no mistake about it. But it really does come down to these games. So what does this mean for Ryan Day? Is he still okay? Because, again, he's won a lot of games, and they still might get in the college football playoff.
His record is great, when you look at all the wins that he's had. But in the big moments, in the ones that matter most, and that's beating this team right here, the school up north. So what's next for him? I certainly don't know, but I know the questions, the phone calls, the TV shows, all those things, there's going to be a question mark and an asterisk next to his name and questioning if he is indeed the guy to lead Ohio State to the promised land. I say it time and time again, I thought he's been phenomenal his time there, but you got to win these matchups. And the scrutiny is going to come, and it's well-deserved when you go out and you lose to Michigan in the fashion that we did today. When you're a top team in the country, we're talking about Ohio State getting into the college football playoff, potentially winning the Big Ten championship, and now all of that is in question because of how you went out and played. The team was not prepared offensively whatsoever. The defense, I thought, did a great job on the offensive end. When you can't convert on those third and medium situations, you can't push the ball downfield with all the playmakers that we have. Just straight up embarrassing, Brent.
All right. Real talk from Beanie Wells. We will see going forward what this means for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Again, losing for the 4th straight time to Michigan. Not only that, to a 5-loss Michigan team.